Are you struggling to install your Android app on the emulator? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers face when working with the Zoom SDK on an Android emulator. I totally get how frustrating it can be when you encounter installation errors. The error message, "Install failed, no matching ABIS," can leave you scratching your head. You're definitely not the only one dealing with this. Here's the situation. One user reported trouble installing their app using the Zoom SDK on an Android emulator with x86 system images. They received the "Install failed, no matching ABIS" error. Sound familiar? Let's explore how to tackle this issue together. So what does this error mean? It typically indicates that the APK you're trying to install doesn't have a compatible ABI for the emulator. This can happen if the APK is built for a different architecture than the one the emulator supports. Stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to generate an APK that works seamlessly on both Android devices and emulators. Plus, I've got a bonus tip that you won't want to miss. To address the issue with the Universal APK, the user should first ensure that the build.gradle file is correctly configured. This includes specifying the ABIs that the application should support. Next, the user should clean and rebuild the project. This step is crucial to ensure that the changes made to the build.gradle file take effect. After rebuilding, the user should check the outputs in the app build outputs APK folder. They should confirm that the Universal APK is generated correctly. If the Universal APK still fails to install, the user should try installing the specific APK that matches the emulator's architecture, such as app x86 debug.apk, which has been confirmed to work. Lastly, if the user wants to generate an APK that works on both devices and the emulator, they should consider creating separate builds for each architecture instead of relying solely on the Universal APK. Fun fact, the Android emulator can sometimes be pickier than a cat at a dog park. It only wants to play with APKs that match its ABI, so let's make sure we give it what it wants. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution from another user suggests organizing your libraries into specific folders. You should have folders for ARM64 v8a, ARMYABI v7a, and x86. If the x86 folder is missing, the Universal APK won't install properly. They also mention that while the apt x86 debug.apk installs without issues, it may crash on the emulator due to missing native libraries. So make sure to include the necessary libraries for compatibility. Here's a pro tip. Always test your APKs on both the emulator and a physical device. This way you can catch any compatibility issues early on. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to generate an APK that runs smoothly on both Android devices and emulators. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.